It is my pleasure to announce the 2019 winner and 85th recipient of the Heisman Memorial Trophy is Joe Burrow, Louisiana State University. Congratulations, LSU.
On a night that felt like there was going to be no drama, I mean, my girl could have let it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, give me a little bit of, before we announced the winner. But it was Joe Burrow's night, man. He said it yesterday as he was on, Pardon My Take, the podcast. He could feel it, and you could feel it around New York City. I was doing reports on Friday. We did our radio show on Saturday, and the purple and gold wave that crashed into New York City, into the Northeast on Saturday was something to see, man. And it was cool to experience the after party with the Burrows and see the support that they have, not only from Athens, Ohio, but the amount of people that made the way up from Louisiana on Saturday was really something cool to see. And Coach Jimmy Burrow is with us every Tuesday here on Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. First question every week: why would it change this week? How cool was Saturday?
Yeah.
Well, it was a long week. Started blue and with the Golden Arm Award, Johnny Unitas, and then which was awesome. You know, one of my heroes growing up. His son is now in charge of that particular award ceremony. Then Atlanta, and then the big one in New York City, and just never thought we'd be sitting basically on the front row, waiting for them to announce Joe Burrow as the Heisman Trophy winner. So it was awesome.
Has it hit you yet?
Well, we only had time to really slow down yesterday, but that was traveling back. Then we had the LSU award ceremony in Baton Rouge last night. So it's starting to. It's just been so hectic, big whirlwind tour, so to speak. But when you settle back and just think about all the great players that were sitting up there with Joe, I still can't really put it into proper perspective yet, for sure.
That had a cool moment. I had a cool moment on Saturday. Ensminger and Brady were standing outside of the hotel after party where we all were, and Joe and his girlfriend kind of had come out there before they had made their way into the room. And the first thing that Burrow says to Brady, the first things that Joe says to Joe Brady is, "I'm so pissed off that Oklahoma's watched so much more film on us than we have them." And Brady says right back to him, "I know, I'm texting with the pilot right now to fire up the jet. It's time to get home. It's time to get back to work." They got back to the practice field yesterday. After all that happened last week, is it back to football for those guys?
Oh, yeah. As I said, they had that award ceremony last night, and Coach O made sure it only lasted about an hour so that they could go back to the office and Joe could and the players could make sure they continue to get rest. But that's the focus. Even though there was a lot going on this past week, I mean, but most everybody that goes into a bowl game late, whether it's a championship series or just a normal bowl game, usually gives the players several days off. So it's back to normal, and it's still got 2 weeks. So they're in good shape. I know they had a good practice yesterday, and Joe's going to spend a lot of time today watching film.
Hey, Coach, what was going through your head when Joe was giving his speech, which was an excellent speech that he was winging, and he started to talk about Coach O and started to tear up a bit?
Well, we know that there's a great deal of love between Coach O and his players, and it spilled over with Joe emotionally at that time. And I think he just knows that Coach O was the reason, basically, that he chose LSU and trusted Coach O to take care of Joe and let him compete for that starting job. And I think it was just a matter of making sure Coach O knew how much that not only Joe appreciated what he's done, but that our family appreciates what Coach O has done also.
Take me back to the time when Coach O was recruiting Dan to get to Joe.
Well, that's the way you do it. If you know what you're doing and you're a great recruiter, you find out who's involved in the decision makers. And Dan and Jamie both were. So, he got into giving those guys a call, and then Bill Bush had coached Dan at Nebraska. So he knew what he was doing. He had a plan, and part of the execution of the plan was to make sure Dan and Jamie knew how much Coach O wanted Joe at LSU, and so he had convinced really all of us to as I said, to trust him and choose LSU.
Talking to Jimmy Burrow, longtime football coach, father of Heisman winner Joe Burrow. Jimmy, everything Joe touches right now turns to gold. And even in that speech, he mentions the poverty in Ohio, in your area of Ohio where he grew up. And now food banks in the area, we looked at this morning, there's the headline in the Advocate, have received over $300,000 in donations. Well, I mean, unbelievable.
It's crazy, and it just shows you what really a lot of people can do if they choose to. And I know Joe he didn't have any idea that was going on, but if you care about a city, or you care about a state, or people in general that are not as fortunate as maybe you are, then you can do things about it. And I know I didn't know what Joe was going to say. I know he had a small thing of notes, but he basically, I asked him afterwards, I said, "You really didn't use that note card, did you?" And he said, "No, I really did. I just went off of true emotion," and that's part of the beauty of anybody getting up and pouring their heart out is just speaking from your heart, and he did a great job, and we're as proud of him as that is really anything during that week.
It's so obvious how proud Athens, Ohio, and Southeast Ohio is of their native son, Joe Burrow, but it had to be overwhelming Saturday night to see the amount of support that he has in Louisiana. Jimmy, that is as powerful of a room as I have ever seen in being from this state, to see the governor, the Speaker of the House, a couple of lobbyists, some prominent businessmen inside that room. I mean, one of the New Yorkers who was hosting the event at the Knickerbocker Hotel said, "We ain't never seen anything like this for the Heisman. This is crazy." What was Saturday night like for you to see all the Louisiana love coming in?
Well, again, just another step in the improving that we made the right decision, that Joe made the right decision, and we as a family, it's mutual. We love Louisiana and LSU, and that was just an outpouring of emotion on both sides, and really just satisfaction, not only with Joe winning that, but really I think the season thus far with 13-0, it was quite a night. I mean, we even after that reception, we went back to the hotel in the Heisman hospitality room, and there were a lot of those guys that had won the Heisman there. So
wow,
it just kept getting better and better, and I hated that it had to end, but you do have to get some sleep at some point, which we finally did.
Where's the trophy?
Well, that's a good question. Joe and I were talking about that with his mom, Robin, last night, and we're not 100% sure, but again, so much happened after that. They took him with he said 5 policemen in the middle of Times Square, which I didn't even know till we were coming back yesterday. And he said, "Hey, you should have seen that scene in the middle of Times Square." But we think they have it. We think they're going to basically ship one to Joe and then one to LSU. But the details are pretty sketchy right now, so I need to get into that to make sure we get it.
I mean, do you keep your trophy in your college house? Like you go over for a beer and there's the Heisman trophy
right
next to the Xbox.
I don't know. but you know what? Joe can keep it anywhere he wants to.
That's right.
We're going to let him do that.
I mean, Coach, you're a football guy. I mean, like the Davey O'Brien, the Maxwell, the Walter Camp, the Heisman. I mean,
Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas probably going to win the Manning Award, which goes to the top quarterback.
Wow.
What's the coolest award for you? I mean, you've been around football for nearly 50 years.
Well, they're all cool. The coolest would be the national championship.
Yeah.
Great answer.
There you go. That's the coach. There we go. There's old Coach
There's
Burrow.
our guy. There's our
That's
guy.
what Joe would tell you too. But the Heisman, obviously, when you just looked up there and you said, Joe, I guess you asked me about when did it hit me. I mean, Sunday night, maybe when we had the gala, and you're looking up there and he's sitting with Johnny Manziel and Tebow and Marcus Allen and Paul Horning, and I mean, you can go on and on. I think maybe then you realize that what he accomplished is really unbelievable, and as we always say, it's a team award, and Joe makes sure everybody knows that. But for me too, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. I had two heroes growing up, Mickey Mantle of the Yankees and Johnny Unitas, and when we were by the statue and John Unitas Jr. Puts number 19 on Joe in front of that statue, that's something that I'll never forget. My knees buckled a little, and I had to collect myself because that was quite a moment.
Man, as a parent, think about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't really fathom it. I don't think I can. Coach, I saw maybe a little bit of this on Twitter. Are Dan and Jamie or Joe's brothers giving you a little flack, thinking you may be getting too big for your britches, doing interviews with Rinaldi on stage?
Well, I mean, we probably. I'm like Joe. I'll do it, and but it's not something that I have to do to be a big part of my life. I mean, the satisfaction of just watching LSU play and Joe is enough for me. But it's a lot of fun, and people, enjoy the story. I think, you guys have told me that the perspective not only as a coach but a dad, and so we like giving back to the fans, and I think part of me doing those is just somewhat my responsibility to let them have a little insight into what we're feeling.
Next time we talk to you, it'll be Christmas Eve. Next time we see you, you'll be in Atlanta for the playoff game. It was good to see you in New York this weekend, as always. Thank you for the time.